Hi, everybody. So I'm excited to have another NovelaWatch event. Particularly excited about this location because I love cars and watches. So a couple of things about NovelaWatch. I started this group about 10 years ago, and actually, Keith, you may remember, because back then you were with Revolution Magazine, and we got to know each other back then. And one of the things I always wanted to do was to have fun, but also to have an education component with it. So we're going to do both tonight. But before we get into all of that, I wanted to thank our host and have Victor come up, if you will, and say a few words. RUF is really an amazing car manufacturer. And the space is amazing. So would you please tell us a little bit about what you're doing here with RUF? It is RUF, right?
A lot of people say RUF, but it's RUF. I'm Victor Gomez, president of RUF North America. I want to thank Daniel. I want to thank Bovet and the whole team to making this happen and letting us host you guys tonight. We've selected and curated a beautiful group of cars for you tonight, starting with the one-of-one RT Roadster. This is one of my personal faves. This is beautiful paint, chroma flash paint, and originally owned by Mr. Samsung. So it has great pedigree, great history. 1990 BTR3. This is also one of my personal favorite cars, and originally imported to Japan. Across the room, we'll see a yellow BTR2, a very historic car for RUF. They produced around 26 of these cars, so extremely rare. Also upgraded with their new headlights that we're offering for all 993s. And the star of the show, this is the SCR, the purple car. That's our current production model, and we're producing 70 of these cars. So feel free to walk around and ask me any questions regarding the cars. So, are the keys in them? Keys are in them, actually. We always keep the keys in them. So enjoy the night, and thank you again for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. So, in our events, I always try to do 3 pillars, which is 1, to have a great location, which I think we have that. 2, to have amazing watches, which we definitely have those. And 3, to have someone very prominent from the brand, and we're really happy to have the 2 of you. Before we jump into our talk, though, I did want to let Danielle say a few words. No? Not today? You always sponsor, as a liquor sponsor. Comos is a fabulous tequila, and so thank you again for always being there for us. All right, let's get started. So, one of the things I like to do is do a little bit of history, so we can do a little education. So, this is a brand that's about 200 years old, 1822. That's right. So, tell me a little bit about the history of the brand, because as I understand it, it starts in Asia, right?
Yes. Hi, everybody. Keith Strandberg, and that's Audrey Raffy, the daughter of the owner of the house. So Bovet was founded in 1822, and we were founded in 3 places, which is why we like 3 time zone timepieces. We were founded in Fleurier, Switzerland, London, England, and Guangzhou, China. And we were founded to make the world's most beautiful watches. So from 1822 up until about the quartz crisis, Bovet was going strong and then went to sleep a little bit. And in 2001, Mr. Raffy, Audrey's father, rebirthed the brand. And in 2006, we bought our own manufacturer and we bought a castle. So as an American, I go to work in a 14th century castle. And we're trying to get Audrey to come and live in the castle, but she doesn't really want to. So I think we're a quite unique brand because we make more than 95% of everything that goes into our timepieces, including the hairspring and the regulating organ. So we channel, as you can see from the watch that he's wearing, we channel the pocket watches we made back in the hundreds, but we also do some amazing modern timepieces, which we have over there to show.
Thank you. Can you guys hear me without the mic? Nobody talks. I'm going to give you this in case. I'll just do without the mic. So let's fast forward a little bit to, you've got two pieces that are reasons and wrongs.
Yes.
Right? The Recital 12 and then the Beast, the 28. So I was going to ask something. First of all, the 12, you've got an inverse movement. I wanted to ask about that. That's because I think nowadays a lot of people are more interested in the movement than they are in the dial. So you put the movement front and center. So is that the reason, or what was the thinking behind it?
Well, we always put the movement on display. But in this case, like in the 1930, the hairspring of the regulating motor is on the back side. So to highlight our in-house hairspring, we inverted the movement in the Recital to make it more visible, more exciting on the dials.
All right, and then let's talk about the 28, if you don't mind.
What's the name for that?
No, it's everybody can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I used to be a professor at Western University, so I have a professor on this result. So, professor, what's that? You are a professor. So, as you guys all know, every mechanical world timer is wrong during daylight saving time. When you change to daylight saving time for New York or the Western world, every city that doesn't change is off by an hour until this timepiece. This is the first mechanical watch to solve the daylight saving time. And we've done it in a very unique way. And what's really nice about Mr. Raffy, our owner, is that he's not a watchmaker. So he comes to the technical office and says, hey, let's solve daylight saving time. And the technical guys go, oh, good idea, Mr. Raffy, but can't be done. Daylight saving time changes on a Sunday, it changes different every year, it can't be done. He said, no, I think we can do it. So that was 5 years of development, and we finally solved the daylight saving time problem. It's already been given Watch of the Year by RUF Report, and won the GPHG for the mechanical extension. So fingers crossed, we win a GPHG award this year as well. So I'd love to show it to you after the Q&A, show you how it works, because it's really stunning and amazing.
Video. You need me to use the mic? Yeah, he's saying he can't record it with the mic. All right, fine. Yeah, all right, we'll go back to the mic then. All right, so Audrey, since we haven't heard as much from you, you're the new generation of the brand. Why don't you tell us a little bit about where you see the brand going?
All right. So hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. It's an honor for us. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, RUF. All right. So as the new generation, I think I speak for most new generations. You know, Bovet is a very traditional and historically rich brand. And obviously, my father being very attached to the core identity to what Bovet represents from 200 years ago to today, I see my role personally as trying to my best to marry the tradition and the history of the brand with what is to come, the future, the innovation, the modern. I think you can see in our pieces, our new collections, that, you know, we are preserving the classical side of Bovet, but we're also focused on developing models, collections that aspire to the new generation, the Generation Z, the sportier side, the brighter colors, the playing with the materials, and also doing something that maybe people who know Bovet from before wouldn't expect of us, you know. But I think the beautiful thing when you have a brand and when you're really passionate about your watches, you're really passionate about your timepieces and what we do. And we love to say that we do art and engineering. You know, it's not just that we do watches. So when you have a brand like this and you're so passionate, you really want to take it to the next level. And when you see the potential and when you see the quality and you put so much effort in what you do, you know that it deserves to be there. And as the new generation, again, I love what my father has been doing. Obviously, it's absolutely incredible, but I also want to look at the future. I also want to cater for the new generations. And I also want to show that it's the classical, the tradition, the history, that's wonderful. Obviously, of course, we all need it. We can't live without it. It's the past. But at the same time, we can't forget where we're going. And we always have to look forward. So that's what I try to do.
So let me ask a question though about the Swiss made as we were chatting. Why doesn't the watches say Swift made?
All right, so Keith, correct me if I'm wrong, because you're a little bit better with the data than I am. But if I'm not wrong, Swiss made legally or technically requires 60% of the component, correct, of the entire watch to be made in Switzerland, which leaves 40% that doesn't have to be made in Switzerland. Whereas with us, 95% of the components in the watches are made in-house in Switzerland. So we feel like Swiss made doesn't really describe us.
Let me just add to that. The only things that we don't make are the sapphire crystals and the alligator straps, although I've talked to Mr. Raffy about putting a moat around the castle and filling it with alligators, but I don't think they'll survive the Swiss winter.
I wanted to touch on the castle, and I don't know if it's still open. At one point, you invited me to come stay at the castle, but I don't know if the invitation is still.
Dressed so well. Why not?
But so tell me a little bit about the history of the castle. Why is it so important to Bovet? Take it from there.
So our office is, we have a manufacturer in Tramelan where we make all the components, and then the final assembly happens in the castle. And the castle is a 14th century castle that was built by the lords of Neuchâtel. And when Mr. Raffy bought the manufacturer, the canton of Neuchâtel came to him and said, "Hey, you bought a manufacturer. Want to buy a castle?" And he was like, "No, I need a headquarters." But then they shared with him that the Bovet family owned the castle from 1850 to 1950 and lived there. And so that's when he decided to buy it, to renovate it, and make it into our headquarters. And we really encourage anyone that's a collector that's in Switzerland to come visit. I do the tours. So I'll take you on a tour of the manufacturer. Then we go to the castle. We have a beautiful lunch. We see the museum in the castle. And I hope that you will come because I invited you many, many years ago. I've also talked to Mr. Raffy about coming up with a story about the ghost of Edouard Bovet coming to him in the night and suggesting a timepiece, but he hasn't gone for that yet.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for keeping the offer open. And I guess to wrap up, and before we open it up to questions from the crowd, just tell us a little bit about where the brand, you see it going next. We've got these two amazing pieces we've spoken of, but I know you've got a few more. Maybe you want to tell us a little bit more about some of the other pieces that are here. And what's next for Bovet?
I mean, what's next? I can't really say specifically what's next, as I'm sure you can understand. But, you know, Mr. Raffy, my father, is always focused on what is the next thing that can be more challenging, more complicating, engineering wise that hasn't been done before. And so, you know, I guess from us you can always expect the unexpected or what hasn't been done. So that's on my side. But Keith, I don't know if you want to add to that.
Well, Mr. Raffy is not a watchmaker, he's a collector. So he's really looking at giving collectors what they want. And that means doing something they've never seen before. It also is bespoke. About 35% of our production, and we only make about 1,000 pieces a year, is bespoke. It could be a fully engraved timepiece, or it could be just the changing of a dial color. So he's very happy to work with collectors on bespoke because most of the brands really hate bespoke. But because we don't have any assembly lines and every watch is being made by hand, it's easy for us to do.
All right.
Any questions?
Questions?
Happy to answer.
Aha.
He's got a loud voice too. Well, it's a perpetual calendar. It is a perpetual calendar with an expanded flying tourbillon, but it has a special roller system that allows you to pick the period of time, because there are 4 periods of time in a year. There's UTC, which is winter time for everyone. Then the US, for some reason, goes to daylight saving time 3 weeks before Europe does. So there's America summertime. Then there's Europe and America summertime. And then Europe leaves daylight saving time a week before the US does. And then, so that's European winter time. And then we go back to UTC. Very good question. I'd love to show you the timepiece afterwards. You bet. Thanks for closing the door. I really appreciated that.
Agimas.
All right, well, that's good.
I think that's good. Well, oh wait, Louis?
Produce it here? All right, I just said it, so who was paying attention?
Yeah.
How many watches do we produce?
You get a free watch.
1,000. There we go. Good stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Very good. Well, listen, thank you all for coming. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, RUF, for hosting us. Thank you, Keith and Audrey, for coming to Miami just for us.
That's right.
I really do appreciate that as well, and hope to see you all soon.
Thank you very much.